Retirement planning, it can feel super complex, right? But what if we could break it all down with a really simple story? Let's do that. We're going to start with a tale of two squirrels and their very, very different plans for the winter ahead.
Okay, so picture this. Two squirrels. They're both out there, they're both working hard, and they're both getting ready for that long, cold winter they know is just around the corner. Now, of course, this story is really a metaphor for something we all think about. That long winter, well, that's our retirement. And the food they're gathering, that's our money. And here's the most important part, the real kicker. How they decide to store that food is going to determine everything. So let's meet our first little guy. We're going to call him the risk taker. His entire strategy is built around one thing, growth. It's all about opportunity and making a big bet on the future. This squirrel is just a whirlwind of activity. He's grabbing every nut he can find, and he's scattering them all over the forest. He's placing a huge bet that when winter finally hits, the conditions are going to be just right for him. I mean, look at where he's stashing his life savings. Some nuts are buried near trees, sure. Some are tucked away in logs. But some are in places that could totally flood. He's diversified, yeah, but he's also left himself wide open to a lot of risk. He's got to hope that other animals don't find his stash or that one bad storm doesn't just wipe out his entire supply. And boom, that's a perfect stand-in for the stock market, isn't it? Just like our squirrel's scattered nuts, when the weather is great and the market is up, his stash grows. But when things turn sour and the market takes a dive, well, he loses a chunk of what he works so hard to store away. So what are we really talking about in our financial world? This is exactly how tools like an IRA or a 401k are designed to work. They are first and foremost accumulation tools. Their job is to grow your money by investing it in the market. But that growth, it always comes with that built-in market risk. Okay, now let's switch gears and meet our second squirrel. She has a completely different playbook. We'll call her the planner. Now, the planner, she gathers a ton of nuts too. But instead of scattering them to the four winds, she takes a big portion of her savings and puts them somewhere very, very specific. Inside a safe, secure, hollow tree where they're protected from the weather, from other animals, from pretty much everything. This secure, hollow tree, this is our metaphor for a financial tool called a fixed annuity. And its main job isn't about shooting for the moon with growth. It's all about one thing and one thing only, protecting the nest egg you've already worked so hard to build. So, let's break down the features of this secure tree. First off, the nuts she puts inside cannot be lost. That's your principal protection right there. Second, they can actually grow, but at a guaranteed rate, so she knows exactly what she's getting. And maybe most importantly, when winter comes, this stash gives her a guaranteed amount of food to eat every single day. No hoping, no guessing, no stress. And this really gets to the heart of the different mindsets. The planner isn't trying to beat the forest or end up with the biggest pile of nuts imaginable. Her goal is way more straightforward. She just wants to survive winter, her retirement, comfortably, without having to worry. So, we've got our two squirrels, two completely different playbooks. Let's pull back from the story for a second and talk about the real lesson here. It's all about understanding that these are two different tools that are designed for two totally different jobs. Here is the absolute key takeaway. IRAs and 401ks, they are fantastic at solving one big problem: how to grow your money over your working life. But a fixed annuity, it solves a completely different problem: how to protect that money and then turn it into an income stream you can actually rely on. And this brings us to a really, really important question. For most of our lives, we're all about that growth, that accumulation. But as that winter, retirement, starts creeping closer, what's the real question we should be asking ourselves? And the answer is a total shift in how you think about things. The whole script flips. Your focus moves away from how much can I possibly grow this to, and it becomes how much of what I've built can I lock down and absolutely protect for my future. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. We're going to put these two strategies head to head. Let's move beyond the story now and compare the actual concrete features of these tools. So take a look at this. First up, market risk. With IRAs and 401ks, yup, it's there. With a fixed annuity, nope, your principal is protected. An employer match, that is a huge benefit, and it's unique to a 401k. Growth potential, absolutely higher with the market-based tools, no question. But here's the trade-off. See those last two? Guaranteed income and principal protection? That's the home turf of the annuity.
You can really see how they're built for completely different purposes.
So you see, as you get closer to retirement, your number one goal, it does a complete 180. It's no longer just about building the biggest pile you possibly can. It becomes about turning that pile into something you can actually count on, a reliable, predictable paycheck that lasts for the rest of your life.
And that really leaves us with the big question for you, for your winter. What do you need more for your own peace of mind? Is it the potential for more growth with all the risk that comes along with it? Or is it the absolute guarantee of survival, knowing you'll be comfortable no matter what the forest or the market decides to do? That's a question only you can answer.